Thank you very much, Mr. President. We meet here today at a critical time for Somalia. The situation in the country, particularly in Mogadishu, remains very fragile. While there have been some solid successes in consolidating the government, the Transitional Federal Government, the TFG, continues to face intense pressure from insurgent forces backed by foreign fighters who seek to seize power. As the Secretary-General has reiterated on several occasions, it is time for action on Somalia. The choice before us is a stark one. Either we help the Somali people overcome the current attempt to thwart efforts toward peace, or we allow the new unity government based on consensus and the Djibouti Accords to fall to a radical armed opposition. Despite numerous challenges, the TFG, under the leadership of President Sharif, has achieved some notable accomplishments during its first 6 months in office. The government strives to maintain cohesion despite the obvious difficulties faced by any government of national unity. The TFG has maintained an open-door policy to those outside the Djibouti process by reaching out to opposition forces and working to broaden its base of support among community, religious, and civil society leaders. The Prime Minister has recently signed a broad-based agreement with the Ahlu Sunnah wal Jama'ah, one of the major religious opposition groups in central Somalia. This agreement, covering political, security, humanitarian, and development issues, was negotiated within the spirit of Djibouti and underscores the government's determination to invite all groups to join in the rebuilding of Somalia. The Secretary-General's Special Representative, Mr. Oud Abdallah, continues to work with the government and all opposition groups to facilitate dialogue in an effort to make the peace process more inclusive. The government has attempted to win the hearts and minds of the Somali people and to project a moderate vision of Islam, which is in keeping with the Somali culture. The recent pronouncements by President Sheikh Sharif Ahmed urging Somalis to reject violence and extremism have also been helpful in this regard. However, the government will continue to require more support in its public information and outreach programs to ensure that this message is widely disseminated among the Somali population. By contrast, Al-Shabaab appears to have intensified its strategy of coercion and intimidation of the population, using targeted assassinations of clan elders and government officials, and harsh punishments for seemingly minor offenses. Recent examples of acts that have shocked many Somalis who practice a very moderate form of their religion include the decapitation of local community leaders and dismemberment of youth for theft. We acknowledge that national reconciliation must first begin with the Somalis. Yet we are aware of the considerable investment that the international community has made in the future of Somalia. We must do what we can to preserve the gains achieved through the Djibouti Agreement. It is in the international community's interest to ensure that the TFG not only does not collapse, but that it thrives. Action now will avert the inevitable high price of going in at a later date if we are not successful. We believe that immediate and concerted action by the international community can help the Somali people to turn a new page in their troubled history, create a conducive environment for peace, stability, and the recovery